Well, hello there, darling internet and creatures of the beyond. Today we shall continue our little project. I have continued working on this because I didn't want to spend any more time just duplicating the same things over and over again. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same thing, it's similar. There are a few little details that pop up here and there. I left a few more things on the way, but we shall see. Also, one thing that I have noticed is this. Oops. Oh, come on. And I have realized something here. This one must be more swift, more detailed. So one way to do it is to restrict how much we want. Sort of like so. But even so, well, maybe I can. Whoa, 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 whoa. We can kind of force it like this, but I don't know. I feel like how we did it initially was better. At the very most, I can just push this more in here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it as it is. Anyway, I wanted to harden the edge on this side, but I feel like this should have been done a different way. But since we have worked this way, let's keep it with what we have done. Let's own our mistakes. So one thing that I noticed here, and it's extremely subtle, especially on this corner, is this line. So I'm going to just create a simple path, but first of all, let me just get in the correct position. So this should be something like so. Of course, it's not going to be in the position that I ask. Ah. So, maybe we'll push this one up much more like so. And it's gonna be blurred. Maybe even more. We need something light like this. Maybe a full opacity. Let's see. Well, I can live with that. I'm gonna go with a 40. It needs to be subtle. So, next one. Oh, come on. This one is also pretty much in the same position, but this one has a gradient. So we're going to kind of place it the same. I'm gonna go with this light gray. No, as light as it can be. And it's gonna be also 40 maybe, but it's gonna have a gradient on it, and for some reason this gradient didn't want to cooperate with us. Maybe a little longer. There we go. And we still have one little loop over here. So it's gonna be something sort of like so. Okay, that should be enough. It's gonna go here. It's gonna be a 40. And this is gonna be more subtle, so we should go something like so. It's extremely subtle, but it does give a little bit of depth to our object. For some reason here, oh, what happened to you? Haha, we accidentally inverted the orientation. Okay, I'm happy with what we got here. What shall we do next? What shall we do next? I'm thinking either we start with the interior, well, with these edges on the inside, or we work on this interior. I'm kind of inclined to do this first, because it's not as easy as it might look. First of all, I'm gonna reduce the opacity for the moment, and let's get a few bearings of what we have here. So I notice here there is this edge, there is like its own single component. Then we have one interior background. I suppose this should be the base background. Well, actually it doesn't matter because it's in so many sections. So I suppose this is one section, this is the second section, this is going to be the third section, which is going to have more complex reflections on it, and there is a shadow. So 1, 2, 3. This is going to be the fourth. And the fifth, which is going to be the most complex out of all of them, in my opinion, because we have some very weird, well, it's not necessarily weird, but probably the camera distorted this reflection over here. It shouldn't look this, unless there is like a mechanical degradation on the interior of the ring that messes up the surface. So let's start. I'm gonna do, let's see. We could, we could use this as our base, and I'm gonna duplicate it, and I'm gonna change a few things here. I'm gonna put it more interior. Just so we don't, oh, you don't have to change from there. I'm gonna put one extra node here, and one extra node here. So we don't get any weird things happening there. Okay, that should look okay-ish, I suppose. Now we're going to make this into our mask. And let's start with our first layer. Let me reduce this a bit more. So the first layer should be something like so. And this is gonna be this color. I'm gonna go full opacity and we're gonna make this into a group. Perfect. This is gonna be on top and we are going to give full opacity here. Click this, set clip. Ta-da! Let's bring it in the back. It needs to be underneath this. Something's awkward here. What's wrong with this? Oh, I suppose this one has to be 100% for now. We are also going to keep this in the background for now. It could act our base color if we really want to, so let's kind of... I said that I want to keep this as the base color. Okay, so I'm happy with this. Now let's see, I'm gonna work on this, and since this is our first element, our first section, we can clearly see that, well, it's going a little high up here, but we're going to work on these things as we go. Okay, let's save. For some reason that didn't set itself into the group. Let's see if I'm gonna go full opacity here. So now I want to create another path. Well, let's do something here. Opacity. So we can see what we're doing in the background. Of course, you don't have to do it perfectly like in this example. You can take a few liberties, but it's all up to you. So I'm gonna go with this, wherever this is. And unfortunately for us, it's not in the position that I want it to be. Oh, damn it. Okay, I'm close. Okay, so we put it in the right group now. Let's go full opacity here just to get an idea. This one is a bit blurry, not by much. And now we have to notice two things happening here. There is one spot that's darker. So in this sense, I'm going to... Maybe I should be more inside the... Okay, so now we're going to make one spot that is darker here. I think we can just do it manually. We don't need too much orientation. And this is gonna have a gradient on it, like so. Maybe a little wider. And for some reason, I don't know, I feel like this should be a little darker. Maybe the angle should go. Yeah, I think that looks okay. There are other ways to do this, but I think we should simplify it with the gradient. Now, this in itself could be a mask, which is actually not a bad idea. So let's do it. I'm gonna select this bulge and I'm gonna make it as a group. And I'm gonna duplicate this. And let's make it as a clipping mask. Set clip. Perfecto. I think that looks amazing. Now we have another option here. This. Now this, in my opinion, could be, well, this highlight over here is interesting. I'm not yet 100% sure what's the best approach. But what I can say is that this part is one element. So let's treat it as such. So I'm gonna, and also this is around here. There's still a little bit more gradient happening inside this part, but let's not overdo it. Let's bring our opacity back. Let's also bring this opacity so we can kind of understand what we're doing. Then we're going to go inside this and I'm gonna create myself something sort of like so. Come on, go inside. Okay. And now we're going to create a gradient. And this gradient is mainly gonna be like this and like this. Perfect. Now we're going to blur it. And actually, I'm gonna push this more. Like so. Now, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how to fix this other than to just kind of copy the main element and, well, let's see if it works. I'm gonna copy this, or actually I'm gonna just duplicate it. I'm gonna put it inside our group. So I'm gonna take this with this and I'm gonna create an intersection. Well, that's the best we're going to get. At the most, I can play with the opacity. But this opacity is sort of over here. Maybe this one I can push more. Yeah, I think this is the best we can get inside our... Even if I overlap them, we're still gonna get this small inconsistency, but nothing we can do about it. We're going to survive with this, don't worry guys. Maybe I can lower this a bit, but let's see what happens at 10. 10 kind of gets it there, but no, we need a 20 here. Maybe if we increase this to a 60 or an 80. Yeah, I think 80 matches up our, but then we, not good. I'm gonna keep it at a 40. That's it. So basically, since this is inside this blur already, it needs to match up the it needs to be 4 times X stronger. But we will manage. We will manage. We are smart, so we can do this. Maybe this needs a bit more lighter color. Something like so. Interestingly enough, it reacts weird. Oh, oops, my mistake. I think that looks okay-ish. And now we should bring our highlights. Our highlights could be directly on top of this. So, we should go inside our group over here. And let's see what's the best approach to this. Well, I think we should do something like so. And go, well, maybe not that hard. Something like this. And we can, yeah, this is getting the right amount. Now, well, this one is actually wrong. This one should be larger like this. And now I can duplicate this, enlarge it, and blur it. It's not looking as good as I would like it to look. Also, we have to put it underneath the... Oops! I deleted it. Page figure out how to make it maybe a bit darker, not by much. Maybe this one can also benefit from a small. Well, it's pretty difficult to get the exact result. It's I don't know. Okay, we're getting somewhere. And there should be one more element over here. So I'm going to kind of try to model it. Actually, this part is not needed. And this one should be lighter, not by much. Okay, and then there is one more element over here. Ah, oops, sorry, didn't. Hey. And this is much, much lighter. Maybe a tad bigger and no, that doesn't work. Maybe we reduce this. And I think that we could group this thing here. Okay, so group this and let's try to add a gradient on it. Well, it's not working as intended. Yeah, well, one way is to also reduce opacity here, maybe even more. The opacity here, even more, wow. Even more, jeez. Maybe I'm not reducing enough opacity over here. Is this working? Because I feel like Well, I guess this is the most we can do out of this. It is a bit blurrier than I really wish it to be, but then again, what can you do? Gonna reduce its opacity by 90%. And maybe play a bit with its gradient. Oh, oops, sorry. And this one, this one is annoying. Maybe a little wider. It's not perfect, but it's gonna do. I'm not sure exactly how I can work this even better. I actually messed up the angle, but I think we can fix that if I reduce the opacity on this and on this. And let's see. Yeah, I messed up the angle. So actually, let's see. Maybe I can modify this thing easier like so, and move it just a tiny bit higher. Okay, let's see. Oops. Opacity and opacity. And maybe extend. Oh, well, actually, I need to extend it just a little. There we go. We're going to survive with this, I suppose. Um, I might actually pull this one higher. Well, maybe something like so. And let's see how it looks from afar. Right now, it looks like a smudge, I know. We're far from finishing this to make it look right. This one might actually need to be lower. Okay, I'm okay with this. Now, since this is living on the background, we're not gonna touch it too much. We also have to notice that there are little marks from this is more like a texture, but we really cannot get this texture inside even if we wish to because it's very circular. And maybe we can kind of replicate this using the image itself, but it's really not worth it because the effect it is subtle and helpful, but really not useful in our case. So what shall we do next? Let's create this part. Now this part in itself looks easy, but it actually isn't. And I'm trying to kind of get an idea of what's the base, what's on top, and what's behind. So I'm thinking like we're going to create, first of all, let me get inside the group. Am I inside? I think I'm inside. Okay, so I'm gonna create something like so. So this is gonna be our base, which is gonna have this color. And well, this is gonna be interesting. Let's see. We are going to need a second element over here. Well, actually, it's gonna be all the way over here, and it's gonna end like so. And then it's gonna end up something like so. This one is going to be kind of whitish. Now, I'm not entirely sure how we're going to make this work, but we shall try. So let's try to see. These two things are definitely in the wrong position. Ah, I have to find the group now. Which group should it be? I wonder. This one. Okay, so full opacity. Full opacity. Now, we're going to have some blur and some blur. Well, this one is too much. And now let's kind of get a gradient here. This gradient in itself is gonna be quite sneaky to pull off. Maybe the blur should be less. Let's go with 15. Okay, well, we're starting to get something. It's not good. And the angle should be something along this line. Maybe we can reduce more of the opacity here. Oops, that's too much. And maybe increase it or decrease it here. I'm gonna try to add one more over here. Oh. Ah, I think that's as good as we can get it. There could be other ways. There's also an interesting way we haven't tried, but I'm not 100% sure yet. There is a way of the mask itself, but the mask is not the most useful way to apply this. And to be honest, I think like it's kind of there. I'm gonna drop it to maybe, oh, wait. No, sorry, not you. You. I'm gonna drop it to a 90 here. And I think we should push it like so. And this one should be a bit like so. Ah, more or less. And the thing is, this one has a shadow on this side. So let's create a shadow. Which is gonna be this color. I'm gonna go full. It's gonna go underneath. Oh, this is not 100%. That's weird. It is. Interesting. I don't know what happened there. For some reason I feel like the color is too strong. Okay, that looks the best, but something like so. Now we still have to take into account a few things. Because as we look at it, it's kind of matte, this color. It's opaque. So in order to solve this, I see sort of a shadow here. So in this situation, we should go with something like so. Something subtle. Sorry, I keep touching the microphone for some reason. Today, I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, I definitely know that this ends here, so I could kind of go with something like this. And again, obviously I put it in the wrong spot. And let's go with some blurriness. And less opacity. This actually doesn't look too bad. And maybe a 70. And actually this one can go a bit like more this way. And I still noticed something. There is like an internal color. Okay, let me put this inside our group. And it's very subtle. Also very blurry. Well, not by much, maybe the 10. And I think... should I leave it on top or underneath? That is a good question. on top. And I think this one should go a little darker. No, that's too much dark. And maybe even a gradient should help here. Let's see. Maybe this one should extend more to the left. And where's this one? This one should also extend more. Something like so. Although, should maybe add a gradient on it as well. Push it just a tiny bit. And let me try something. Feel like this edge is too strong. Maybe go with a bit more blur, like a 14. Well, I think that should stick to something. There is still one edge over here, but it's very, very subtle. So, and I think this should be pushed even more. Okay. And now I could go with this subtle edge. Let's make it, I don't know, for now white. Just as an idea. Just a second, let me go and put it inside our little group. Should be even more thinner than this. And it should have a gradient. And it should be, well, I don't know, sort of like this color. I clicked the wrong one. A tiny bit lighter. And I think some blurriness. No, that's too much, way too much. Let's try to make it even lighter than this. Okay. And I'm gonna also maybe push it to a 10 and maybe a 50. Maybe make it a little thicker. There we go. Still too strong for me. Let's go with a 30. Very subtle, but it gives that edge, that professional edge. Also, this one I just noticed there is a slight indentation, arch, sorry, like so. And now we can see that this arch goes a bit like this, which is wonderful. This one can go maybe of 80. Yeah, I think that creates the effect that we're looking for. And this one, still I feel like it's not dark enough. Maybe this one could use a bit more softening. Not you. Let's go with 13. Yeah. Whew! Who would have thought that there is so much work to be done? I'm not sure I can finish this today. I'm gonna do the interior. I'm gonna leave the edges for tomorrow or whenever. Um, this one is complicated. There's also an arch on this part. And let's get a little, yeah, something like so. Maybe less blur. Even 25, let's try. Damn, that arch is very, very crazy there. I think there is a gradient. Let's try to play a little bit with this gradient. Ah, interesting. Although I have to push this a tiny bit more. For some reason, that edge is not as soft as I think it is. Let's try a 20. 25, 20, 30. I'm gonna leave it at 28. I'm not 100% sure. It's tricky. Okay, next one. Next one is this one. Well, we have two options here. Well, there's also is multiple options. Um, so from what I noticed, there is a shadow over here. Let's look a little bit better here. There is a shadow over here that kind of extends to this part underneath here. Curious. Curious. So the very first thing that we are going to place is going to be this shape. Then we're going to create this element on top. So let's get to work. So this one looks like so. Also, there are some differences in the blur, but they're very difficult to spot. The blur is not very uniform, which is kind of a pain, but well, we'll have to deal with this. So this shall be this color. It's kind of a greenish thing. Okay, let me put it inside our group. Sorry. Why am I clicking? No. Okay, we're inside the group. And this is clearly a little blurred. Let's reduce the opacity here because this next part is kind of difficult to. This one is like so maybe. Let's go full opacity. Oh, come on. Can't past it. Okay, so this one will definitely have a blur over here, but it will also leave some opacity out. Let's return to our full 100% opacity. I'm gonna put this at 100 for now. And this is gonna have a gradient. More or less like so. This one is too strong. Maybe a 20 something, 20, let's try a 27. And this one is also having a gradient on itself. The other way. Maybe not so strong, but you know. And this one pushes a bit towards the darker side. Something like so. And I'll push this gradient a bit more. Maybe even more. Yeah, something like that. Now, now, now. How do we proceed from here? I think, and these are just my thoughts, that this should look something like this. And this can be underneath the first part. Let's see. So I'm gonna copy this. That's not good. Okay, that's okay. So this should be somewhere like here, and it's gonna have this color. I don't know, something like so. Something's weird. Okay. And we also need a gradient on this. And this gradient is gonna end up on this color. And we need to blur everything. Okay, like that. And then we have to come with another object around here, although this kind of looks the same color as this, but well, we shall see. So let's copy this. Bam, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. This one should be inside. Oh, come on. This. Why are you looking so weird? That is an interesting question. Why are you so weird? Is this not at full opacity? It isn't. Hmm. Now that is curious. What am I supposed to do with this? Clearly this is gonna be blurred. I actually don't know. There are a few ways I can do this, but I'm actually don't know. Let's see, maybe I can sort of trick it this way, and this color would be a little darker. Maybe we need to add another gradient here. Maybe something like so. And put it underneath. Go with 100% and let's do a gradient here. This gradient is going to push something towards this. I don't know, something like that. This one, on the other hand, let's try to kind of... Whoa, 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 whoa. Damn it. Interesting. And I think that this could be pushed a bit here. Let's see. Maybe I can darken this just a little bit. I'm still not happy with this color for some reason. Well, let's try 95. Oh, come on. 90 something. 93. And this gradient should... Well, it's the best we can get. There is the surface that's missing here. We can't do much about that. Maybe I can push this blur just towards like a 15. I'm not super happy with this, but I don't know how to make it better either. Okay, we can live with this. And we have our last part, which is controversially the most complicated one. From my opinion, this can be done something along the lines of this. Come on. Oh, come on, why I keep pressing the wrong one? Okay, something like that. And we're going to give it a gradient, which is gonna have this color. Well, maybe not that much. And on the top here, it's gonna have this color. And obviously a little blur is needed. bit stronger. And now all we have to do is come in with our shapes, which are 2 in number, I suppose. Ah. Oops, what the hell happened there? Did I just murder it? I never got this error before. Ah. Okay, I'm not gonna annoy you. Relax. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Nothing is fine. Just a moment, guys. I'm gonna recover this last save. If it's gonna start. Okay, we're back in business. We are alive. We are safe. I'm gonna cry. And we need one more stupid thing here. Well, to be honest, it's not something extraordinary. Okay, so let's see. This is 100%. This needs to be 100%. And this one isn't in the right position. Okay, this one should be underneath this. I'm gonna go with a 5 and the same for this 5. And then something like so. Maybe this one can go at 10. Maybe at 20, both of them. Maybe this one needs a gradient. Nah. Ah, so many things happening here. This one needs to be softer. Maybe this can also be pushed like so. Maybe even softer. Let's try a 60. And what if we try this? This part is not soft enough in the transition. But maybe I can Push the color a bit. Yeah, there was another transition over here, but well. This is the best we can do. And here, I see what the problem is. There is another small problem. There's always a small problem. This one is this color. At 100%. Bam, bam, bam. Oops. Oh, come on, get me the right color. Maybe there is a little gradient over here. Let's try. Yeah, not the best, but not the worst. Maybe a little lighter. And there we go. It's starting to look more or less like it should be. This one isn't working for me. Let's try something like so. And maybe I'm gonna play with the gradients with opacity from over here. Yeah, this one definitely needs more. But also the angle needs a tiny change. Well, it's more or less. I still think it's a little strong. Maybe go with 95. And maybe push this one out a bit. Even more? Oops, oops, oops. Yeah, I suppose that does it. It's difficult to get the right amount, but the more you play with it, the better results you get. I'm gonna leave it as it is right now. We still have to do the grooves and these edges, and this is gonna take quite a bit of extensive trial and error. Just out of curiosity, let's see what we have done here. Well, I can't complain. It does look pretty close to our original. There is a little discrepancy here. And I think this is due to the fact that this kind of, yeah, there is a secondary gradient over here. Let's try to do this to fix this because it's annoying the hell out of me. So the best way to do this, I suppose, is to just duplicate this, and let's change the dimensions. Let's bring it lower. Ah, damn it, what did I do? And let's give it another gradient here. That kind of fits it. I think though we should extend it a little bit. And try to push the blurriness here. Maybe even whiter. Something along the lines of that. Yeah, I'm getting to... There's quite a few things happening around here, but I don't want to overdo it. Because I kind of realize that this could be stronger. Yeah. Maybe even push this a little bit higher. I know I'm fiddling with it a lot, but we're getting something that looks interesting, and I feel like this one should be pushed just a little more. I don't know. This is the best we can do. I don't know how the hell. Well, the thing is, it looks a little bit unnatural to us over here because we don't have the scratches on this surface. Well, scratches. It's actually how the ring was formed when it was machine engineered and so on. So yeah, I think this kind of covers it. So we still have to do this edge, this external edge here, and then the grooves here. We'll leave this for next time because those add the piece of resistance. And I'm not sure if we have to add anything else here. Maybe some shadows on the top, a little bit on the bottom. And actually, let's do something quick. Since I'm already here. something like so. And then we also have to do, oh, maybe that's too much. Something like so. And this one is gonna have very little opacity. Be more. Well, that's an unfortunate result. Oh, come on. Cooperate with me. And then we have to do gradient as, oh, sorry. So this is gonna be 100%, 100%, 0, and 0. Oops. And this other one is still kind of strong, so I'm gonna well, we can figure out the shadows afterwards. But looking at it, it's pretty realistic. We did a good job, guys. Proud of you. Well, catch you next time. And stay awesome. See ya. Bye.